In this video, we're going to look at correct score trading, how to predict and choose your target correct scores to trade with. We're going to show you a professional mathematical approach to this, similar to what investors do on Wall Street. And then we're going to back it up with some real life trading demonstrations on the Betfair exchange. Does that sound good? If it does, go grab a nice cold beer or a box of Jaffa cakes and let's get into it. So football trading is not the same as football betting. It's very, very important to understand that, especially if you've just stumbled upon this channel. With football trading, we're not trying to predict the actual final score of the match, believe it or not. And with football trading, we can still profit even if we get our initial predictions wrong. And with football trading, we're not trying to predict one high odds score, such as a 4-1 or a 5-1. Or something like that. With football trading, we are formulating a tradable target score formula. So that might be backing a bunch of scores from maybe 4 scores to 6 scores or something like that. And we're looking to trade those scores in play. Very similar to what you might see on Wall Street. Wall Street traders will position themselves before major information hits the market. They're not guessing the exact closing price. They just, well, from their analysis, have a good indication that the price is going to rise. They'll be able to sell it after the earnings information hits the market and they will make a profit. For us, we're doing a very, very similar thing with the correct scores. We're buying a bunch of correct scores. Based on our formula, we have a good indication that we're going to be able to sell those correct scores in play in the late stages of the match, and we can lock in a profit. We're basically buying a bunch of correct scores at the start of the match, and we're selling those correct scores to other correct score traders late on in the match, or we're just selling them as the match develops and as goals go in. So that is the best way to look at it. Now, here is how you would go about trying to get an idea of which scores do we actually cover. So look, step number 1 is you're going to look at the pre-match XG baseline. You've got to calculate the XG for both teams, identify the expected total goals for the home team, the away team, the goal split, and obviously avoiding those outliers, and just try and get an idea of the probable goal band. So we want to try and get an idea of how many goals there will be in the game. And typically you might see something like a total XG number of 2.1, 2.5, 2.6. Either way, that gives us a very good idea of the type of scores we want to look for. If it's 2.5, we're looking for score lines which have 2 goals or maybe 3 goals. So that would be a 1-1, that would be a 2-1, a 1-2, or similar. If the XG is above 3, then we might want to start our scores around maybe the 2-1 to the 3-1 or the 2-1 to the 2-2, etc. So we've got that. We also want to calculate the goal environment also with this. And this is a bit more of a simple one. We just want to get an idea if this is going to be a high scoring match or a low scoring match. You can often get a good idea of whether the match is projected to be high scoring or low scoring just by going by the actual over and under odds in the market themselves. This is very, very useful. We also want to look at step 3, which is the recent score distribution. So we want to look at maybe the last 10 matches of the home team, the last 10 matches of the away team when they play away from home, just to be clear. We want to just try and see if there's any sort of patterns. Does the home team typically win by 1 goal? If they typically win by 2 goals or more, think of a team such as Bayern Munich at home, very regularly winning by at least 2 goals. So you've got to look into that. You want to look at the away team and how they tend to approach away matches. Do they very often keep it tight? Do they get away with a 1-1 draw, for example? Anyway, look at that batch of matches and get a very good idea of whether there's any sort of patterns, especially if there's a particular correct score, which is very, very frequent. This can be one of our tradable target scores. And by the way, if you want to skip all of this, we're currently using AI and the Football Trading Genie to pretty much run all these numbers for us within the click of a button. I just click on this button here, Correct Score Trading Strategy, and it's actually going to run this whole process that we're talking about in this video within seconds, as you can see, and it's going to give us the target score formula to work with, the 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, and 0-2. So very, very fast, and it will obviously save you a lot of time with all this research. So this is how we do it with AI, and it obviously works great. And later on in the video, we're going to show you some real life demonstrations using the AI to pick out some target scores, and we'll show you exactly how we trade it. So this is if you want to skip all the hard work and just let AI do it for you. And then this is where it gets a little bit more advanced. You want to have a good look at the goal timing bias. You want to get a good idea of when the home team and the away team typically score their goals, because this is going to help you identify whether certain score lines are going to be tradable. For example, if you wanted to cover a 1-0 to the home team, but you looked at the goal timing and you could see that this home team typically scores maybe 2 goals in the first half, there's a strong chance that you're not going to be able to trade or sell that 1-0 score line late on in the match, because it could easily be 2-0 or 3-0 or 2-1, for example. Now, if you look at the same team and you can see that they tend to have low scoring first halves and maybe score quite late in the match, then you might want to cover that 1-0 because you've got a good chance of selling it late on. So there's lots of stuff to look at with the goal timings, and the goal timings are a very underrated thing with a lot of traders when they're trying to pick out their target scores. But if we go back to the start of this video and you just keep that concept in mind of you're picking out these correct scores because you want to try and sell them late on in the match, especially. That's when you're going to get the most bang for your buck with selling these scores. So look at the goal timing and get an idea for whether or not you'll be able to sell these scores late on in the match. Does the favourite score early? Do goals typically cluster in the second half? Are first halves tight? Does that home favourite protect the lead or chase more goals? Think about Arsenal will typically take the lead and protect that lead in most of their matches. A team like Man City under Pep Guardiola will take the lead, chase more goals. That's in their culture. So just take things like that into account. And the bottom line is, if you find a match where early goals are likely, you want to skew your target scores higher, such as a 3-1 or a 2-2, for example. If they seem like they're going to be late scorers, you want to skew lower, be covering the 1-0s, the 1-1s, and the 2-0s, for example. Okay, this is a bit more advanced. And as said, thankfully these days we've got AI that can work it all out for us. Anyway, step 5 is the match nuance layer. And you could argue this is the bit that AI can't particularly do for us very well, that little bit of the human element to it. So context obviously matters. Now, is this a league match versus a cup match? Especially if it's a first leg or a second leg. First leg matches, you very often see teams take the lead, try and protect that lead, knowing they're going to have a whole second leg to survive also. So first legs, you might want to skew your target scores lower. Second legs can get out of control, especially if a team needs to chase the match. Also in the second leg, you also have to take into account, does the favourite need to win? If a 0-0 or a 1-1 or even a 0-1 can help the favourite to qualify, they might take that. So you've got to take these little nuances into account. Relegation pressure, rotation risk also if they're rotating players out. Also the weather conditions. I mean, if the weather, it's wet, windy, this can obviously affect our goal expectation. So these are things to take into account also. A little bit of research can help you with that. And then obviously at the end of the day, and we speak about this a lot on this channel, when you pick out your scores, you want to have a plan A, which is going to be in favor of the team that you've chosen to favor, and then a plan B, which is a little bit of insurance. So let me show you how this might look once you've done all this and picked out a target score formula. Let's say the XG that you found for the match was 2.6, which means we're looking at 2 or 3 goals in the match, which are going to be tradable. That does not mean it's a guarantee of 2 or 3 goals. It just means that we've got a very good chance of being able to sell some of these scores, as said, late on in the match. That's the main idea here. So you might start with a score of 1-1. Then obviously from the 1-1, it could easily go to 2-1 or 3-1. If it goes to 1-0, it could then go to the 2-0. And then you might want to cover something like the 1-2 as a little bit of a plan B should the underdog perform unexpectedly well. And that's the idea of correct score trading, because we say this quite a lot, is that we can pick out our scores, we can get it totally wrong, and we can still profit. That's the great thing about correct score trading. Anyway, I did say I got some real life demonstrations of all this coming up. You're going to see how the AI picks out these target score formulas and then how we trade it. Let's dive into that right now. But before we do, it would be great if you could hit the like button. If you do enjoy videos like this, it will help YouTube send you more videos like this in future. And if you don't want to miss a video in the future, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and everything will be all good. Let's dive into some real life trading demonstrations so you can check this out for yourself. We're going to be trading Wolves versus Bournemouth. We're going to trade the correct score market on this one. It's quite a tough market to call, but let's head to the AI and let's see what the AI can do for us on this one. Press the correct score trading strategy in the football trading genie, and we'll see. We're going to be favouring Bournemouth in the end, but just about. So 1-0, 2-0, 1-2, 1-1 and 2-2. So plan A and plan B, but it's quite a mixed one, isn't it? Anyway, let's get set up. So I'm set up in the market, split staking approach. Obviously the genie has gone in favour of a low scoring win in favour of Bournemouth. Spread of scores are covered, but anyway, let's see what happens. We'll be trading this one in play. So it's half time. It's Wolves 0, Bournemouth 1. So this is going to plan at the moment. We've got 120 on that 0-1. We're obviously have to anticipate there's going to be more goals, and keeping in mind we don't have the highest scores covered really, the 0-3 or 3-1 or anything like that. So we're going to use the green that we have on the 0-1. We're going to put that down to 0 on the 0-1. And change our targets to potentially the 0-2 or the 1-1. Ideally, really, just if we're going to hit a second goal, hit it fairly late into the second half. That would be the most ideal scenario. But anyway, it's in there as an order to be matched at 5. It'll get taken early stages of the second half, and we'll look for that second goal. Let's see what happens. 92 minutes on the clock. It's Wolves 0, Bournemouth 2. The timing of that goal, very, very nice. We're going to lay it off just in case there is another goal in these very, very late stages. We do have good green on the 1-2. We don't have it necessarily on the 0-3, so that's what we're worried about. There isn't that much time left anyway, but we'll get this traded out just to be sure and give ourselves that little bit more green. So we'll end up with 192 of profit on the 0-2. If there is another goal, we'll make more profit on the 0-3. It would be very nice if Wolves could just pull back a consolation right now, wouldn't it? But anyway, that's going to be our final position. Now, you saw the way this trade played out. You saw the scores we covered. We covered it in favour of Bournemouth. They're quite even teams, as we know, Wolves and Bournemouth. Actually, maybe not. I take that one back. But anyway, you saw how this played out. We covered these scores in favour of Bournemouth, low scoring, 1-0 to Bournemouth at half-time. We laid off the 1-0 and we caught the 2-0. Very, very good timing. Okay, if we went to 2-0 to Bournemouth earlier in that second half, we probably don't lock in as much profit. A late goal to land on one of your target scores, that's a very ideal scenario in correct score trading. So anyway, very nice call from the AI to lead us down this path. It is about the goal timings also. So that's what the AI takes into account. It does take into account when you might land on these target scores, because that's the way for you to maximize the profits. Anyway, we've landed on the 2-0 very late. So let's see what happens. But that's the end of the trade pretty much. Wolves 0, Bournemouth 2. We're going to be trading this match from Scotland, Hibernian against Dundee. We're going to trade the correct score market. We're going to get the AI to give us a target score formula and save all the time and research dipping into this one up in Scotland. Just get the AI to break it down. Hibernian the favourites, so no huge surprise to see it's going in favour of Hibernian. 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, and then 1-1 and 0-1 as our sort of plan B. So that's interesting. Let's get set up on this. So here we are, splitting that stake up, and it's a low amount of green on the scores in favour of Hibernian, but if that plan B kicks in, say Dundee take the lead, there's a fair amount of green, a fair whack of green sitting on that 0-1 to Dundee. In some ways, a very ideal scenario for us would be 0-0 all the way up until 90th minute, then Dundee take the lead, 0-1. But anyway, probably not going to pay out like that. Let's see what happens in play. So 1-0 at half-time here. Hibernian 1, Dundee 0. We're on that 1-0 score. So we are expecting more goals in this one. We're going to use that green and also just pretty much put our liability onto the 1-0. And we're just going to move forward from there. It's going to put some more green on those more immediate scores, such as the 1-1, such as the 2-0. The 2-0 to Hibernian being our main target score. So anyway, next goal will put us on a green score. At least we've mitigated any sort of potential loss if we get that next goal also. So that's the situation heading into the second half. Let's see what happens. Hibernian 1, Dundee 0 at half-time. 74 minutes on the clock in this one. It's just got interesting. It's Hibernian 1, Dundee United 1. So Dundee have managed to level this. We're on that 1-1. Okay, so we've got some green on the 1-1. We have green on 2-1. We don't have green on 1-2. So we have £63 of risk left in this. Let's just get that risk out of the market. And we will let this run from this point. So, all right, that's been taken. So we'll let this run. If it ends 1-1, we'll collect £44.96. But if Hibernian can take the lead, then we will leverage up and we've got more green that we can potentially take there. If Dundee United are the ones which perform some sort of smash and grab in this one, then c'est la vie, and we will just break even. We're not going to lose anything on this one. It's just a matter of how much we're going to make, potentially. Let's see what happens. Hibernian 1, Dundee 1, 75 minutes on the clock. 81 minutes on the clock. I did say it's just a matter of how much we're going to make on this one. We're not going to lose anything, and we're not going to make anything either. It's Dundee United who have just scored to take the lead, and I end up with absolute egg on my face in this particular trade. Yep, so Hibernian 1, Dundee 2. There is obviously still action you could take. You could take further risk, but I do believe we're down to break even. We've called this totally wrong, haven't we? The AI's got it wrong. I've got it wrong. Yeah, not the greatest trade. It's not exactly going to be going in the Hall of Fame. But anyway, I still stand by the decision. I did think that our most likely score was either a 1-1 or a 2-1. I didn't want to take any value out of the 1-1 or the 2-1 to put it on the 2-1 to Dundee. Obviously, in hindsight, yeah, of course you would. But I still believe it was the right decision in that moment. And I was prepared to break even if Dundee United were going to be the team to take the lead in this one, which they are. So, bit of a frustrating one, but the most important part is we haven't taken any loss on this at all. We're just going to end up breaking even. And as you know, on another day, it would have been Hibernian, the favourite, the strong favourite for this, taking the lead, and then we've got £188 worth of green to start locking in. So anyway, totally fine. I will take that on the chin. I will take our break-even trade on the chin, and that will be that. Hibernian 1, Dundee United 2. So as you can see, when the AI has given us that target score formula, it's taken all of this into account. The pre-match XG baseline, the goal environment is being calculated, the recent score distribution also, the goal timing bias especially, that's another great thing the AI can do. And then it's given us the plan A and the plan B. Then it's still down to us as the humans to trade it, to make those decisions in the market based on how the match is developing. And as I said, if you want to give this a go yourself and you want to try the football trading genie out or get a demo of it, then the link is in the description, or just scan the QR code that is on the screen and you can give it a go yourself. It's absolutely amazing for correct score trading. As you can see, you can obviously run all this formula yourself, do all the research yourself. That could easily take you maybe 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. Depending on how fast you are, and then you can come to that decision, or you can just press the button, have the AI work it out for you, and then you're just ready to trade, and you can pretty much do this just before kickoff. So anyway, as said, the link is in the description to try this out, or you scan the QR code that's on the screen. Anyway, we've got more real life examples of this. Have a look at it, watch that target score formula closely, and then obviously see how it was traded. So we're going to be trading the correct score market on this one. It's Santos against Sao Paulo. It's some late night Brazilian football trading action. And we're in the football trading genie. We've had a look at the correct score trading prompt, and I did double check this, but it's gone in favour of the away team. Okay, so Santos the favourites here, but it's gone in favour of the underdog. 0-1, 1-2, 0-2, 1-1, and then a 0-0 also covered. So anyway, going to get set up. So close to kickoff now, and all set up here, as you can see, covering that 0-0, covering the 0-1, the 0-2, also the 1-1. So it's quite a daring one. Let's see if it pays off. We'll give you more updates as it develops. So we're at 37 minutes in this one. It's still 0-0, but we're going to lay off the green on the 0-0 because the XG is rising on this one. So we are looking at probably getting a goal soon, okay? So I'm just doing that, put that in the market. So the green that we had on the 0-0, that's now laid off. Puts it down to 0 on the 0-0 and puts a bit more green on the green scores, lowers down our overall risk, puts us in a very, very good position, a good start to the match. So as it stands, we could let this run. If it remains 0-0 until the end of the match, then we'll just break even. But really, we're looking for Sao Paulo to be the team to take the lead. Looking at the XG, it's still pretty even. We are probably expecting a goal, not really sure to who. Ideally to Sao Paulo, and then we're fully in business. But let's see what happens. It's 0-0 on 38 minutes. Just gone half time here. I did say that goal was coming. The goal has arrived. Not quite the way we wanted it to arrive, though. It's Santos who've taken the lead. So it puts us in an awkward situation. The great goal would have been Sao Paulo taking the lead. But, yeah, we're on Santos taking the lead. So anyway, look, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to get our full liability into the market here. And let me just do that. At 3.45, it will put us in a position where any goal is going to improve our situation dramatically. Either we're going to mitigate our loss on this down to a mere £17, or we're going to be back on that 1-1 with some green to play with, and we could be looking at a profit in that situation. So look, the next goal in this one is huge. Let's see what happens. It's Santos 1, Sao Paulo 0 at half-time. 67 minutes on the clock. We've got the equaliser. Santos 1, Sao Paulo 1. So we're on the 1-1 score, as we can see here. It's odds on. We got green on 2-1 to Sao Paulo. We have nothing at all on the 2-1 to Santos. And obviously Santos have been pretty... looking pretty good. Let me just remove the risk from this. Just get this in the market. And just get the risk out of the market. Obviously it was £17 of risk. And now that's gone. So we've got green on the 1-1. Green on the 1-2. Now, looking at the data on this one, still going in favour of a Santos home win. Okay, that's what the XG is telling us. So we have to take this into account. And kind of, yeah, well, let's put some, well, we definitely have to put some green on the Santos 2-1, that's for sure. So let's do that by laying the 1-1. We've now got 64 on the 1-1. We've got 50 on the 2-1. We ideally always want to have more on the upper score. So just adjust this a little bit. There's no specific amount, but ideally at the same time we want to try and make a profit if it remains 1-1 also, because it could just be a deadlock at this stage. So anyway, we're just distributing the profits a little bit on this. We've got no risk in this trade anymore. If it remains the way it is now, £42 is going to be the profit on the 1-1. If it is Santos who take the lead, 75, but we've got a big amount of green if Sao Paulo can be the team to pull this off. So let's see what happens. We're in a position now where we're going to make a profit. It's just a matter of how much. Let's see what happens from here. There's 20 minutes left plus the time added on. So we're deep in injury time in this one. Looks like it's probably going to finish 1-1. And if that's the case, we will be landing this £42 of profit, not quite the 365 that was available on the 2-1, but we'll take a profit in this one. Remember how this trade played out? We had the 0-0 covered. I could see from the XG a goal was due, so we went against that 0-0. We got the goal pretty soon after, actually. However, didn't quite go the way we wanted. A little bit annoying. If it went to Sao Paulo, this whole trade is a completely different story. But Yeah, when it went to 1-0 to Santos, we had to take some action. We had to try and be aggressive. We were aggressive. We got rewarded. We got back on the 1-1, but didn't get rewarded with the goal to Sao Paulo, which would have been very nice. But anyway, look, we made a profit from a slightly tricky trade in the end. So Santos won, Sao Paulo won, final score. So we're going to trade this one. It's Fulham versus Everton, and we're going to trade the correct score market on this. We're going to turn to AI to give us a target score formula. So you'd think Fulham, home favourites here. However, yeah, the AI is actually going for a bit of a home upset. So this is interesting. You can see the target score formula here. The AI is going in favour of Everton to win this. So let's get set up. And so here we are with our stakes split up 0-1, 0-2, 1-1, 1-2 and 2-1. So always interesting when the AI goes against the favourites, going with the underdog on this one. Let's see how it plays out. It's Fulham versus Everton just about to kick off. We'll be trading the correct score market. It's half time here. It's Fulham 1, Everton 0. So not good for our target score formula of backing the underdog. So always a bit of a dangerous one because look, if the favourite takes the lead, you're then dead on these scores here, aren't you? The 0-1 and the 0-2. But anyway, we're still potentially alive in this trade. Now let's look at the data on this, which is quite interesting. Plugged in the XG numbers, and to be honest, look, the way the XG is developing, this is looking firmly in favour of Fulham. The important thing to look at is we've got goals overdue, so we can go aggressive against this 1-0. We'll get our full stake in the market, and then we'll just see where that next goal takes us. Based on what we're seeing, it's going to be Fulham to probably go 2-0 up. But the fact we've got more goals overdue means we should be aggressive against this 1-0. So full stake in. And if Everton can equalise, then we're back in business. And we're back in business in a strong way because then we've got 2-1 and 1-2 covered. So as said, when you're trading correct scores, you've always got to think, what does that next goal do for you? Try and think 2 score lines ahead. An Everton goal would be great for us. Fulham goal to go 2-0 up. At least we're going to start to mitigate our potential loss on this. So remember, we've entered following a target score formula with the AI, expecting something. The XG is now showing us that we shouldn't really be expecting that, but we could be expecting something else. So we're going to pivot slightly, okay? As traders, that's what we're trying to be dynamic. Anyway, Fulham 1, Everton 0. The second half is going to be an interesting one. 76 minutes, it's Fulham 1, Everton 1. So Fulham absolutely dominant in the first half. However, Everton have been very dominant in the second half. A game of two halves, as they say. So anyway, let me just update the score. So we still got goals overdue. Okay, so we're on the projected match result, which is what the XG predicts, but we've still got more goals due in this one. So with that in mind, we can be particularly aggressive, and we're going to put the 1-1 down to a break even and chase the next goal for either team. I did say if we can get on a 1-1, it's a strong position because then we've got 2-1 covered and 1-2 covered also at the same time. So that's what we're going for. Obviously this trade started out tricky, losing 2 of our target scores fairly early on, but we're in a good position now, and we're at least in a position where we're going to break even as it stands. So let's see what happens from here. Fulham 1, Everton 1, 13 minutes left plus some time added on. Let's see if we can get that next goal. 83 minutes on the clock. There's been a goal and the AI has called this right. It's Everton who are going to take the lead here. Just waiting for VAR to really just confirm that and get it locked in. But let me just lay it off. I do believe this is going to stand. So yeah, going to lay this off. Going to make sure we've got green on all the other scores, just to make sure we got a profit locked in. And so we've got 197 there. And so with more time on the clock, and remember, we were expecting more goals in this one, weren't we? So I do believe I am going to lay off further. Let me just put in that order at around 1.5, because you've got to wait for the prices to settle at this late stage. And so I will lay it off on the 2-1. So it will put us in a position where another goal, whether it is to Everton or Fulham, is going to increase those profits substantially. We've got that lay order there. It's 2 or 3 ticks away from being taken. It would be cool to see it get taken on this clip, but it will get taken in just a moment. So anyway, the cash out's offering us the 188 or 190 to lock in across all the other scores. But as we can see from the data, we are expecting more goals in this one. So anyway, that lay order's there. We'll see how this one finishes. It's Fulham 1, Everton 2, 5 minutes left plus time added on. So we're deep in injury time on this one, and it looks like Everton are going to close this out for a 2-1 win, which will mean we're going to collect that 152. Any other goal would have leveraged us up to a 275 profit. But anyway, we're going to collect the 152 of profit. And in the end, it was a very good call from the AI, wasn't it? Okay, the AI did tell us to go for the Everton win, the 2-1 Everton win. And the way the match started, Fulham, the favourite, very dominant, 1-0 up. You kind of doubted whether the AI was going to be right on this one. It seemed like a strange choice, didn't it? But in the end, the AI was right. But the key takeaway really from this clip has been the example of having to pivot as a football trader. You saw how this match developed. Fulham looking good. We started to pivot in that direction. Everton managed to turn around, and we ended up on the 2-1 score to Everton. So anyway, we're out on this one. Fulham 1, Everton 2. It might be a trade that you might want to watch again. So anyway, we're all done. So hopefully this gives you a much better idea of how to pick out those target scores and obviously how to trade it. Let's look at the score ladder logic once again. Remember, you've got that projected goals XG, and then you're going to formulate some scores around that. You trade the band, not the bullseye, and you still need to make those decisions in play. You still need to follow the XG, and you still need to be a human trader. Okay, just to be clear, AI is not a magic bullet. It's not going to trade for you. AI is a tool, and it will amplify your trading. If you're a good trader, it will make you even better. If you're a bad trader, it's probably going to make you lose even faster. So anyway, if you do want to give it a go, then the link is in the description of this video, or you can scan the QR code. Just take out your phone and scan that, and you can get a demo of it. You can try it out for yourself. If it's available, then you could be trading with the Football Trading Genie today, if it's available. But anyway, as said, and just to be clear, it's not just for the correct score market. It can actually give you strategies and trades for any market. Okay, this video is just about correct score trading, but it can give you strategies for any market. But you've got to see it for yourself. As said, click the link in the description or scan the QR code and give it a go. Okay, your own AI-powered football trading assistant. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed checking that out. There should be another video on the screen right now, and yep, click on that video and go grab another nice cold beer, and I'll see you in the next video.